Welcome to the Kinkazoid Podcast, where you get some education on your form of stimulation. With your hosts, Royal, Chase, and Trey Proper. Buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a wild ride. Let's get kinky.
Welcome. Greetings and salutations to another wonderful episode of Kinkazoid. It's your boy Trey Proper, here to cause hate and discontent. Ladies, if you will, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Royal. No tagline necessary. Just recognize she's a queen.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your girl Chase. I see Hayes here. No matter how you say it, as long as that flavor stays in your mouth.
All right. So, as always, we got a great show lined up for you. Let's get right into it. This week's kink of the week is queerophilia. This is a sexual arousal by your phalanges, your hands. It's actually predominantly found in women that are aroused to this, that they are attracted to attractive hands because of all the, even if you think about it, your hands are pretty much the key point to a lot of sexual arousal, whether it be physical play, HJs, whatever have you, hand models, so on and so forth. But a specific fetish for hands is referred to as queerophilia, which may manifest as an attraction to fingers, a great manicure, or simply some smoking hot hands. Yeah, stuff like that. But basically, you ever see somebody working with some power tools or something and you get aroused by that, or that's it. Ladies, do you have any affiliation with this type of philia?
So first of all, I'm going to say that I did not know that there was a name to this. But I guess I can get with it. Like, I don't know. I'm sure people know what TikTok is, but it's been men out here who have like TikToks of just their hands, just showing them doing stuff. And, I guess people are attracted to that. Me specifically, like personally, I haven't really had, I don't know, or I guess that I haven't really paid much attention to it to say that I actually have this particular kink. So.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Unless you touch me personally, I don't have most men's nails would be dirty any which way, so it's not really gonna do anything for me. But yeah, nah. Unless you touch me in the right spots in the right places, I don't really find nothing really to, A walk though, I wonder if there's a name for a kink for a walk, because I do like watching a man walk. Something about the stride of it all just does something to my little heart.
Yeah, we gotta do some research. We could probably find that for next week.
Or see if we could find some about some arms or something.
All right.
See, okay, so
arms, yes.
The arms, though. The arms. So I think honestly, I don't know if there's a kink for it, but if it was like more something more specific to like watching a man work with his hands or something like that, maybe that's what it is. Like watching a man work or be manly in general.
Mhm.
If that's a particular kink, then yeah, sign me up for that one because I got that one.
Well, that falls under queerophilia. Is that
Mm-hmm.
basically it's the actions of the hands, their performance, and sometimes how they look.
Mm.
So yeah, like I said, somebody could be working with some power tools. They could be cleaning up the house. They could be washing dishes. I hate washing
I'm
dishes.
about to say, I mean,
But,
traffic with washing
it could
dishes
be
is so.
any plethora of options there that could get your engine revving. So take some time out, ladies, in the comments as well as you guys on the show, and just think for a moment if you had ever had a moment when you saw some hands and you was like, huh, he's
Hmm.
pretty dexterous. I like it. I like what I see.
I guess.
Fall under, I mean, it probably wouldn't. But you know how some people, some, especially I guess in a women's eyesight, they love seeing a man do something, like pick things up, put things down. Like they like looking at labor workers, basically. They like looking
Mm-hmm.
at any type of like, emergency respondent people, your EMTs, your firefighters, your police officers. They love seeing the men in uniform, right? Like the whole
Right.
YMCA special. So I wonder, like, if that's a thing, that there's like a name for seeing someone do like a job, like just to work. Because I know some men like to see women dance, not just stripper wise, but just actual dance, or for them to see them working too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wonder if that's like because I know that there's the sexy outfits, like the maid outfit, the police officer outfit, and everything. So I wonder if there's a thing for that. That'd be interesting to see.
Hmm.
Well, it could be, but there's also I mean, there's certain kinks as far as like nylon is a kink. So it could be a combination of different things. You could see somebody in a
Yeah.
service worker position, but they're wearing specific type of clothing. And also there are people who are what's the word? I want to say textile, but they have an affinity to touch. So kind of like, not calling anybody who has it stupid, but you ever seen what's the show with George and he's petting the rabbits? Crap, I can't remember the name. But basically, somebody who likes
Right.
to touch things. He likes to touch things, and he it's people like
Oh,
that like that. I can't
of
remember.
Mice and Men? Is that
Mice
what
and
you're talking
men.
about?
Yes,
Yeah.
Lenny.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
he,
had no
he
idea
just
what he was
he
Lenny.
talking
like
about.
things that
Yeah.
were soft. There are people who get
Yeah.
off on things that are soft, so
Mm-hmm.
it could be a combination of different things. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
wouldn't put it
Cool.
past him.
Something for us to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. All right. Anything else on that before we get into this nitty gritty? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be interesting today.
It is going
It's
to
good.
be
Just put a
interesting.
skull with some X bones over here, because that's what it's gonna be. Toxic. Okay. You
Oh
know what
boy.
I'm saying?
Mm.
Like,
Oh
it's
boy.
just gonna be a toxic show, right?
I think it's going to be toxic.
It's
Um, I
the Simpsons plant. Okay, the plant that's in the Simpsons, toxic.
The
Mm-hmm.
goggles, they do nothing. Yeah.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Amber, for the
Started the
lights.
show off wearing my toxic masculinity glasses, i.e., my driving glasses, because we are going to talk about none other than Mr. Kevin Samuels himself.
Mm.
The
Dun,
ladies
dun,
here
dun,
on the
dun.
panel actually sent into our group a couple of videos pertaining to his content, and I feel some kind of way, of course.
Mm.
Again, I have to
Always.
repeat this. I do not
Always.
agree with everything that Mr. Samuel says. I'm not a follower of his beliefs or whatever, but there are some things that I agree with him, and a plethora of different people in the Red Pill space. So, um, Miss Royal, if you will, please explain to our people out there what happened in this video.
Okay, so basically, what happened in this video, there was a panel that was made up of, I believe, 4 men and 2 women, Kevin Samuels being one of them. And what was being discussed was that Kevin Samuels was talking about a quote from Sean Connery from an interview with Barbara Walters some time ago, and I'll give you guys the quote and everything, the time frame, once I finish the explanation. But basically, what he was saying, that sometimes that men sometimes have no recourse but to slap women to get their point across, or to when they feel like they don't have any other option, because women will sometimes drone on and on in their opinions about a
Mm-hmm.
particular topic or subject or something, and they want to get the last word. So
Okay.
just to go a little further into it, so you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about, I'll read the quotes first. I don't think there is anything particularly wrong about hitting a woman, although I don't recommend doing it in the same way that you hit a man. An open handed slap is justified if all other alternatives fail. Sean Connery, Playboy, 1965. Now, in 1987, which is a whole 22 years later, he doubled down on this way of thinking when he had an interview with Barbara Walters, saying that sometimes women put themselves into a provocative situation, these are his words, when they don't know how to let go of a subject or a topic, and sometimes the last word does not satisfy them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, basically, I want to get you guys' opinion on what you think about Sean Connery and what Kevin Samuel said, because he's basically in agreement with this man in 2021. This his viewpoint is still that it's okay to slap a woman to get your point across.
Miss Chase, if you will.
Barbara also said that I think that you said 1987, that at that point he's been happily married for 31 years and has not heard of any reports from his wife.
Right.
Just basically kind of giving segue of saying that don't mean he beating her. One of those things. Um, I will say I am one of those people that I do not believe that your hand should be placed on anyone for any form or kind of reason. If we're going to take direct quote from Sean Connery, there's no reason for you to place hands on anyone whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Even in 1987, he said, no, you shouldn't be, balling your fist up and hitting a woman. But, just a little slap, little, get yourself together here, woman,
Mm-hmm.
because she might be a little hysterical for whatever reason. Once again, I'm just one of those people. Now I understand that we all love to hit when we laugh or when we're joking or you tease a little bit. You're like, hey, don't call me big head. You know how I feel about my overly large head or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. So I get that. But when it comes to the case of physically putting your hands out of anger, out of frustration. I understand, once again, even aggravation can happen when you kind of like, shove somebody in the shoulders or you kind of nudge them. It happens. You
Mm-hmm.
do exert your emotions physically. But we're talking about maybe a brotherly sister nudge. You're not like forcibly punching each other dead in the face, but you're giving each other like that little nudge here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, there's no reason why you should exert your energy out on anyone. And if we're going to take the direct quote of Sean Connery, there's not going to be any point in time outside of a TV screen or a movie that you have to slap someone silly to get them to act right, like for them to stop being hysterical. I don't care if I'm sitting here going off on a tangent about how you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't treat me this good, you don't do this for me, you don't, whatever the case may be of why a woman or a man is going off on a tangent. There's no reason for you to put your hands on them, to slap them, in his words, for them to get it together. I've had a situation where my counterpart was kind of getting a little out of control in their own emotions, and there was no, holding or anything. It was just kind of like a lowering of hands or an immediate hug of embrace, like to get you to relax, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But that's just my idea, and once again, I'm going based off of the quote from this man that they had referenced in their podcast that they had,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just how I feel about that.
Okay, so my opinions are as follows. The snippet, of course, we'll put it inside of Discourse so everybody can see it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
from Lapeef Let's Talk. Shout out to them. That's another notable podcast that I aspire to be like them one day. But shout out to them. They had Kevin Samuels on their show, and they were having a discussion based on the interaction between men and women. So the reason why Kevin Samuels quoted this, if you not saying nobody, if you listen to what he was saying based on the conversation we're having, if women would stop pretty much nagging and pushing and forcing and pushing and forcing and pushing people to the edge to that point, that wouldn't happen. He was quoting Sean Connery. He was not condoning or calling for women to be abused or beat or anything like that. We were saying is that back in that day, men got different types of respect based on how women acted. He didn't say, go out there and beat your women. So for people to sit there and say he's calling for violence, he's calling for men to abuse women now, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. That's not what it said. What they were talking about is that there are women who get away with not murder, but they get away with a lot with men these days because they no longer fear that type of retribution. And again, let me be clear. I personally, I will hurt somebody if you touch any of mine. And I wouldn't touch anybody because I would expect them to feel the same way about me touching theirs. But what they were talking about in the context of the conversation was just some women, not all, get away with quote unquote murder in their relationships because they have no fear. And sometimes they don't respect the man that they're with. So they push and they push and they push. And they sometimes forget that is a whole nother human being, man, woman, otherwise. Everybody has their limits. Everybody has their limits, and things can turn into a physical situation or a provocative situation if you push somebody hard enough. We see it every day in our lives. We see it every day in our streets that people get pushed to and people snap. You got a whole Lifetime show about it called Snap, right? Where people have had enough, men as well as women. So no, I am not saying, and no, Kevin Samuels was not saying, put your hands on women. No, they're not calling for men to be abusers out there. No, you're wrong. You gotta, and this is why I go back to, you gotta listen to what people are saying. You can't just, I love social media. I enjoy using it as a tool. But what I do is I listen to the entire conversation. If you don't listen to the entire conversation, you're not following behind what we preach here all the time. And that's part of communication. The other half of communication is listening. You have to be intent with listening. Yeah, you could look at it like, it's Kevin Samuels. I know what he got to say. You don't, because you didn't listen. You didn't hear what he had to say. So now you're going off half-cocked like this young lady who posted a video saying he's calling for violence against women. No, he didn't. He used an example of somebody else who was quote-unquote misogynist and probably smacked his wife up a couple of times as an example of how things worked back then. But I think that they're just calling for, if anything, that women should be more respectful of the fact that men have emotions and we also have limits. So you can't keep pushing and pushing and pushing somebody just because, oh, nigga, you ain't gonna do shit.
Okay, so here's my thing to this. Okay, now I am not saying that there are not some women out here who are can be disrespectful to their partners and who will be all up in their face and carrying on and so on and so forth. However, as grown-ass men or grown-ass adults in general, you need to know when to walk the hell away if somebody is pushing your buttons to the point where you feel like you want to physically harm them. And that's point blank, period. So even if he was saying that this is what Sean Connery was saying when he interviewed with Barbara Walters or whatever the case may be, just to even insinuate or just to hint at the fact that you may be thinking along those lines to me is unacceptable. Because you're basically saying, and this is my personal opinion, you're basically saying that it is okay for men to feel that way. Or sometimes men just feel like they don't have a choice but to slap their woman or whatever. It's not okay. It's not okay. If you are feeling, first of all, if you are feeling as though you cannot properly communicate with your partner, if your partner is pushing to the point of no return where you feel like you want to harm them, get your ass up and walk away from them.
Totally agree.
Because at no point should you ever be putting your hands on anybody, versus if it's a man, if it's a woman, or whatever. If you are pushed to that point, then that is a problem. That is something that needs to be addressed in your relationship. Y'all potentially need to walk the fuck away from each other because this is not something that's going to work. If it ever comes to blows, somebody got to go.
So, and I'm gonna let you go next, Chase, but I have to say this. We here, we all like to believe that we are of a higher intelligence than most people, and we're not going to go down that road. But statistics out there show that this doesn't happen. Some people do reach limits. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying, again, making it clear before anybody tries to come at me, don't come at me with this BS. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying you should go smack a woman. I'm not saying that. Keep your hands to your fucking self. Mm-hmm. However, people, men and women, have limitations. They get pushed to a limit. So you can leave. If I'm dating somebody and they piss me off and I leave, and I come back and things are cool and I leave, and I come back and things are and repeating the same motion. That's the definition of insanity. Mm-hmm. Repeat the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If that keeps happening, eventually I'm going to reach the end of my rope. Now I can't imagine a situation. No, I can imagine a situation where you touch my kid, but it's highly unlikely that I'll reach that point because of who I am. But people out there are not going to do it. A lot of people are not. They don't have that mental space to keep going through that. So that's where you find these situations. So I'm calling for the personal accountability to fall on both men and women. I'm not saying it's men's fault that this is happening. I'm not saying it's women's fault that this is happening. I'm saying it's both of you motherfuckers' faults that this shit is happening. So those of you who find yourselves in a situation, go get help, learn to communicate, walk the fuck away. And if it gets that toxic, you don't need to fucking be together.
Yeah. Can you read the comments? I would love to hear what everybody is saying about this.
Yeah, we did kind of like go off on a tangent. Forgive us.
We did. Starting on Facebook. Let's see. Oh, Michelle Jackson. What's up, Michelle? I wish a motherfucker would.
Facts.
Graham Dixon. But Batman open hand slapped Robin, and that was good, right?
Great.
Anyway.
You know what?
Let's see. But that's based off the patriarchal relationship that there needs to be enough respect between both parties involved so it doesn't come to violence. I agree. But even in a patriarchal relationship, there still should be limitations on your physical touch. And one thing I want to add because I'll forget it. Let me add this in.
Yeah.
We are also in a kink space. So some things can be misconstrued as if this is why you got to communicate things. You got to be understanding where you're going, because some people enjoy impact play, and some women and some men enjoy a little tooling up. They enjoy it. Smacks and nobody here say ain't seen a porno where somebody's getting stroked off and that comes across the face and they're enjoying it.
That is
so
consensual.
Yes, it is consensual, but that's why I said communication is key. I'm being very clear about that. So that could be an aspect of what he could be. We don't know. Let's see, but I'm sorry. Big Herb, holy shit, Royal actually has the video running properly. I'm proud of you, girl.
Shut up, okay? Because you already had me agitated and anxious earlier because he wanted to give me a call earlier in the day telling me something. Oh, I'm rooting for you, but if you mess up, I'm gonna ridicule you. Shut up, Herb. Thank you.
So
but
just because, yeah, Herb is just you're talking about the background on a different show. Shout out to Hub Deucer. He's out there doing big things out there, doing a little trip. Be safe, homie. But going back to the comments, Michelle D. Jackson, here's the problem with that point of view. He has the option to walk away and not giving her an open hand slap. I agree. That's what I was stating. But realistically, not everybody is going to follow that logic. Graham Dixon, using the thumb rule, respect is key. I respect you enough not to agitate you to the point of violence. I respect you enough where I don't want to engage you with violence. I agree. Yeah, you have to have respect. And Michael, a little slap and tickle in the bedroom is fine if both parties agree. Yes, communication and consent is key. It is definitely key.
So is anybody saying anything on YouTube?
I was just about to. You want to? Can you see him?
No,
okay.
I cannot.
I can see them. So let's just back all the way up. So Ebony Wiggins, can't even talk. Ebony Wiggins says, "Gang, gang, what's up, homie?" The rabbit hole we just fell down, says Jamaica. And this is facts, and she was in reference to our new kink of the week, thanks to Trey Proper.
Queerophilia.
Yes, queerophilia. Thank you, because I was not even about to.
Queero. Quiro.
Excuse me. That's why I wasn't going to say it.
Because you said queerophilia, and it's like, no, that's something different. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Queerophilia. Sorry. Anyway. All right. So Ebony
Quinoa.
Ebony Wiggins says, no one should be hit in a way that isn't a consensual way where things are communicated. Never out of anger or malice. That's physical abuse. Facts. Tell Sean Connery's wife to blink twice if she's safe. I think they both passed away, so I think we might be good on that. And True Kasami says, I mean, he's dead, so she's probably fine. Actually, both his wives are dead. Thank you, True Kasami. Elizabeth Guevara says, leave that motherfucker. Yes, leave that MFFFFF. Yes, Jamaica says, true, but when you have those types who, even while you're walking away, there's that person who feels that they need to stay in your face to prove a point. And this is true on both ends, male or female. You could have a partner that way that is extremely antagonistic And sometimes you still need to walk away, put as much distance between you and that person as you possibly can. You got to go somewhere and close the door. If you have to walk out the front door, you need to get into a safe space for yourself, point blank, period. Jamaica also says, and that goes both sides, yes. Ebony says, I feel as though if Kevin Samuels didn't agree with the Sean Connery statement, he wouldn't have mentioned it, right? And Trukasami says, Herb just trying to compensate for all the time he gets clown on the other show. Oh,
Damn.
okay.
Well then.
Damn.
Well.
Oh boy.
Shout out to Big Herb, Weekend Herb.
Yeah, shout out to Herb.
Shout out to you
over here.
Shout out to you.
Oh man.
I'll quickly say that yes, we're not speaking of the instances where you have your baby boy moment with Yvette and Jody, okay? Where she's pushing and punching and pushing, and when he goes to turn around to push her back, she got popped up on the eye, and then he performed cunnilingus to say I'm sorry. Where and head don't forgive all, okay? Head does not make people forgive all right? We're talking about the instances where it's unprovoked, okay? It's one of those things where it's kind of like, yes, I may be hysterical, and I really want to get rid of that word just because I feel like it's hysterical is usually associated with women. When it in terms of as if we can't get our emotions together and we're going too far and our mind is irate and everything like that, but it's just a mere fact of that's not what it is all the time. Sometimes and I know that Trey had said everyone has their limit. Some people don't even have a limit. Okay, their limit is theirs. Everybody, their limit is here. Usually it's a space of time that everybody's limit ain't that long. It's usually here. Right. In some cases, we've seen instances where someone has lost their lives because they had a very short limit. And this is why we always say check in with who you are dating, who you are with, whatever the case may be. I know that right now on social media, it's a fun game to say, oh, they put their milk in before their cereal, red flags. Like I understand that. Like that is a serious red flag though. If you put your milk in the bowl before you put your cereal, you are a psychopath for real. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's weird. Like how do you know the measure? Like how do you know the measurement of milk you need for the bowl of cereal that you want? That doesn't make any sense.
That's because everybody got their own specific bowl. But go ahead, you're gonna get
but the point is that even though we all have our ways about stuff, not everything. We need to start taking this red flag stuff seriously, and really make note of what is a red flag to us personally. Okay, and then also, I feel like I have to burp. No, generally. So if we see that there is something going on in that person, if you see a person gets agitated a little quickly and they get I get aggravated very quickly. It takes nothing for me to get aggravated. That could be a red flag to someone, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore. But then another person sees it and they're like, oh, well, she's just getting aggravating, as Trey and Royal know, because somebody cut her off or somebody doesn't know how to take a right the correct way, because I'm on the phone with them all the time when I'm driving, and I'm a mass hole to the bone, baby, and my road rage is crazy. So I mean, everything to each person can be different. But what I'm saying is there should be no hand placing whatsoever. At all. I've recently had an encounter where I didn't realize I could get as mad as I possibly could have. And it was a dangerous mad that I've never felt before. It was a dangerous mad where I usually the man has to remove I had to remove myself from a situation, because I started feeling and thinking things that a person shouldn't be feeling and thinking. And I've always said all it does is take the right person at the wrong place with the right mindset. That's all it takes. Like all it has to be is one brain cell off from sane, and things can go completely different. So I understand that women and men sometimes can get too handsy, mostly women, because just like Trey says, it's the mindset of you can't touch me or else you going to jail, or my brothers are going to come jump you, or something else is going to happen. My cousin and them, they on the block with the Glock. What's up? I get that. I understand. But we also can't provoke, and I'm a big person too. Do not provoke no one. Don't push and kick and do all. That's just too much. If you have to put your hands on somebody, just leave. Leave the
Just
situation. If you're so angry that you feel like you have to, there's a wall, there's a pillow, there's a mattress. I mean, you can beat the hell out of a mattress. Ain't nothing gonna happen, fam. Just take your anger out where you need to take it out. But if you feel like every time you get angry, you need to release physical exchange, you need to see a therapist. Like, you do need to see a therapist. It's every single time you get irate and your first thing is to ball up your fist, go see a therapist.
yeah.
Because that means that at any time you're not going to have enough clear mind and you're going to strike. And you probably will or probably won't feel bad about it, but that needs to be done. And women, you should not be hitting no one. I also do have the mindset, if they hit, you hit back. And I'm saying as this.
There we go.
If you are, and this is what, and this is my mindset. If you are bold enough to hit a person knowingly
Okay.
that this person has stronger capabilities than you, has a bigger defiance than you, is broader than you, could probably pump you to the ground. If you have well-known knowledge of you striking this person in the face or hitting them hard, and they strike you back, please do not fall to the ground and cry, "I am woman." I cannot stand that.
That's going to
I
happen.
know. I understand that, but I cannot stand that. Everyone should keep their hands to themselves. That's what we teach kids. That's what we teach kids when they're young. If someone hits you, you hit them back. Okay? There's no hold regard. Don't put your hands on nobody, and you won't have to worry about it. Now, if you put your hands on me, if y'all seen the video I posted on Instagram, that the hand is steady. Okay, so it's just okay. So that's all I'm saying. That's my piece on that. If y'all disagree with me, please put it in the comments. If you agree with me, put it in the comments.
So speaking of, well, before we get back to the comments, Ms. Royal, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. All right. I do have an audible question. I think I'm going to save it though. I'm going to save this one. We're going to throw this at you guys at a curveball later on. Getting back to the comments on YouTube, sex is a gift or an apology, period. From Ebony Wiggins and Elizabeth Guerrera, and past traumas play a big part in it too. True Kasame, what if the other person sees arguments and arguing in general as part of working out whatever issue is being dealt with? That one I had to get to because how you handle your individual relationship, they're all situational. So if you have an agreement with that person, you understand that verbal arguments are how they communicate. It's not healthy in my opinion, but also I'm not an expert, but I would say you need to go talk to somebody because we're not chimpanzees. We're not reactionary like that. You should be able to communicate in a calm, cool, collected area. But that's just my opinion, non-expert opinion. But if that works for you, it works for you. Let's see. As my mom say, you need to see a person you're with in all 4 seasons and through hardships because they'll show you just who they are. Facts, Ebony Wiggins. I feel like physical abuse is taught behavior. It's just not behavior that you all of a sudden get irate and hit someone. People that watch abuse happen before. I mean, yes, they see it and they accept it. Some people are like that, but it's like I said, it's all situational.
We can blame media on that, like, because media is a play in that. Like, it's been studied many years. They had a study that I had to do when I was in school at one point in time where they saw a video where they punched a little thing that the weeble wobble but it don't fall down. And then a kid, after watching it, walked in the room and seen the weeble wobble and had the choice to do whatever it wanted. They didn't direct him, but because he had saw a video where they punched the weeble wobble, his direct thing was, I gotta punch this weeble wobble. So it's been studied countless times in psychology. So it doesn't have to be a direct thing that you see with parents, your outside sources, or whatever. I personally think if you were raised with your opposite sex siblings, you're more prone to hit. That's just me because I was getting boogie down with my brothers, okay? I ain't no punk.
I'm not gonna say no names, but somebody tried. They've all tried me, and they've all lost. But I ain't never like tooled my little sister.
No. Me and my older,
What did you learn?
Me and my older brother used to get down. I mean, like downstairs, like Mama, like, what are y'all doing now? nothing. Yeah, right back. I mean, tussling. But it's made me very just like, sir, my brother is over 200 something plus pound, 5'11", 6 foot man. Okay, thank you. It's giving me some thug in me, but I do believe that if you have opposite sex siblings and you grown up close in age, there was some hustling, tussling in your household, and I think that's where it comes from. I ain't gonna hold you.
And it's bound to happen. It's
I
royal.
don't know if it comes from that specifically because I had all male cousins for real when in my age range because I was the baby girl when I was coming up. I had an older brother. We fought, okay? I mean, we fought. We played football. We did a bunch of we did a bunch of shit when I was coming up. That didn't make me inherently violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, I give out love taps and stuff like that to people that I know, people I care about. I'm not going to try to actually physically harm you. You know what I'm saying? Now, in my younger years, have I been pushed to a point before? Yes, but that was because I was pushed to a point by somebody who was physically harming me. But,
Yeah.
but I was never an abusive person, have never been an abusive person ever. You know what I mean? So I don't think the fact that you have siblings and y'all fight and play fight and stuff like that doesn't excuse it to me or that doesn't
Well, not making
give it
you
a
an
cause.
abusive person, but I think that it makes you quick with your hands. Is what I'm fair to say.
I'll give you
I
that.
feel like that makes
I
you
will
quick
give you
with your
that.
hands.
Yeah.
Like the people who like nudge people when they laugh, or the people who like you say something mean to them, you be like, shh. Them people. That's the people I'm talking about. You
Okay,
get quick, your hands is like
that
fire quickness.
I
Like
will agree with. I will agree with that.
Like you gotta be on guard all the time. But also it's situational. Everybody's home life as children was different. But
Right.
to return this conversation back to what we originally started, I made mention of it earlier. This petition to get Kevin Samuels removed from Instagram and YouTube. Once we shared a video that we were talking about earlier that sparked this conversation into the Discord, you'll be able to see. And if you want to sign it, you can sign it. I don't care. But I wanted to ask you, ladies, do you feel as though it's appropriate to remove this man from the internet because of his perceived views as hating women and stuff like that?
freedom of speech is a thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
let you
I
go
was
first
just
on
gonna,
that one anyway. Go ahead.
okay. All right. Yeah. So, as a person who has studied law and journalism, free you have freedom of speech. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
look, okay, I'm saying, come
Go
on,
ahead.
bachelors. Freedom of speech is a thing. Okay, and there's different court cases, different some things that have went up to the U.S. Supreme Court and everything in different parts of like can you use this type of advertisement of smoking if the person doesn't even smoke in the advertising, things of that nature. Hence why you see in the bottom of the screen actors, blah 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 blah, because whatever. But it's the mere fact of that cancel culture is a thing and it shouldn't be. I
Fact.
understand that people have, like I've said a couple episodes back about, when we were talking about red pill versus blue pill, that some people have gotten a camera, gotten a microphone, hooked it up to a computer, and said, "What I say is bond." Okay, and and that I love it because it does show, especially people who are in the radio world, i.e., me.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that I don't have to wait for my chance to get somewhere to project my voice to get out there for people to see that I'm great. I'm a person. I'm a conversationalist. I'm an on-air personality. Whatever. If you have a great podcast idea, yeah, the Kinkazoid podcast, that gives us a platform to get out there to speak and reach out to people, and that you guys reach out to us. But when you have people who do get online and do say very, very problematic things over and over and over again, and it does irritate or make people angry, you can get into the point like this chick did, and she said, I want him off the internet. I don't want him doing this. I don't want him doing that. And that's just not fair. Everybody has their source of opinion. Everybody has everybody has their source of opinion, and everybody has their way of speaking about things and their ideals. Just like I say to the people on TikTok, you commented and wasted your time giving me a view and giving me more algorithm when you could have just blocked me, hit not interested, and kept scrolling. So if you don't like what a person is saying, I just suggest ignoring it. It's not like when we had Agent Orange 45, who was the leader of the free world, so to speak, and was literally blasting the most amounts of ignorant ish that he could have blasted online. That's a whole different thing from Kevin Samuels. That's a very large, small scale. That's a very different scale. Okay, that's a smaller scale. He doesn't have influence over everybody's life like that. And those who choose to follow him, and those who choose to not, don't. So cancel culture needs to end. You can't cancel everybody. Not everybody can get right off the internet and stuff like that. It is what it is. Everybody can make a new platform and go, hey, I'm better now. I'm not this misogynistic, toxic person that you guys think I am. And then that's it. Right. So I don't believe the petition is really going to do anything. Obviously, it's up to Google to choose if that man is going to have a platform anymore. That's it.
Right.
Ms. Royal.
Okay, so I can agree with that. I just feel like the position may have, and I think not necessarily the position itself, but the way that these women are feeling, I feel that there's merit in that, because a lot of these red pillars, and I'm not saying, Kevin Samuels is inciting, men to violence towards women or anything like that, but a lot of these red pillars have the, I'm not even gonna say all. I'm not gonna say all, but I'm gonna say some.
Not all.
Not all. A lot. That a lot doesn't mean all. Just a lot means a good some.
Right, but I'm just saying they have these negative connotations towards women. You know what I mean? And it's like, like I don't know if y'all it puts me in the mind frame of, you ever seen the Little Rascals movie, He-Man Woman Haters? That's what it puts me in the mind frame of. You know what I mean? Like the
He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Yes, child. So it's like they generally have a dislike for women. And I'm sorry, Drake.
Movie in my head right now. I'm dead. I would never even thought about that. But literally, this is the
He-Man Woman Haters Club.
No girls allowed.
Right. Do we like women? No.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like you generally have this boys club to where you have a serious dislike for women, and women are out here. A lot of us are fucking scared. You know what I'm saying? Like we are scared of what is going to happen to us if we.
Which we'll get into later.
We'll get into that. But a lot of us are scared of what's going to happen if we step outside of our homes. You know what I mean? So it's just like if you have this man saying, and I am all for people discovering themselves. I'm all for people putting themselves first. I'm all for, people finding their self-worth or whatever. If men feel like women are not respecting them or whatever the case may be, and you feel like you need to build yourself up, you do what you got to do, boo. You understand? However, that does not mean that you have to promote negativity towards women. You don't have to do that. You can have men's empowerment or whatever. You can say that you want to build yourself up so you can be on a higher level or whatever the case may be. You want to be on a higher level spiritually, financially. You know what I'm saying? You do what you got to do. But that does not mean that you have to have these negative feelings or comments or actions towards women. It's not okay. And that is what I feel that these women are signing this petition for, because they feel like they are being attacked.
This quick insert also for the women who have, or men who have signed this petition. I want you guys to know that you joining his live give him viewership.
Yes.
It gives him some form of clout, let's say that, right? So if you would not join in his lives, and if you would just not watch his videos, the viewership naturally would just decrease. So instead of petitioning to get him off of a platform that already has doubled down on its rules, that if he was doing something severely, they would have taken him off the offline immediately. Stop engaging. No views, no ratings, no likes, no nothing. Immediately drops the person's platform. So the mere fact that you guys watch him, to watch the toxicity, to screen record it, and to place it places, you already gave to this man 3 different streams of income just from a share of, in a copy. Like it doesn't make any sense.
And that's
Stop
it too.
including yourself into his conversations. Stop trying to get into a thing. Stop trying to combat him. Stop. Let him go back to talking to men like he originally was. Let him have a men audience
See,
again if
that's
that's
the
what you
thing.
want.
And let me tell
That's
If
you
you
the
what.
wanna, if you want him to have a men audience again, then let him have a men
Let him
audience.
have his
But you
men
are
audience.
choosing to put yourself a men audience, but you are choosing to put yourself in these predicaments to watch yourself. It's not about Kevin Samuels because I don't like Kevin Samuels. So why would I give viewership to somebody that I don't like?
Facts. But see, that's the thing though. I gotta jump in here. Because you just said something very poignant. He does have a male audience. The people that are watching him and he's getting most of his money from are the men who come to watch him. So
Yeah.
the women who are watching, they're like I said earlier, you think he's hating women, you think he's putting all this negative just because he said told a woman that she looks like a fullback, quoting Kevin Samuels, so don't come at me with that bullshit. But because he said a woman looked like that, oh, he hates women. No, he gave her the truth. She asked for an evaluation. She came to his channel and asked for an evaluation. He didn't go searching through Zoom and like, oh, I'm gonna pick you, chick.
That's
Come
what
here.
I'm saying.
You look like a fullback. That's not what he did.
Exactly.
She came in with expectations all high, like I want to do this, and tell me how you think I look.
Exactly.
And he did it. So the whole excuse me.
Cancel culture of it all. You just don't involve yourself.
Just don't.
You shouldn't involve
I
yourself.
I agree with that.
Mind you,
completely.
in all honesty, mind your business. Going about your way. If you want to hate watch something, hell, please come over here and watch our channel. We would appreciate you watching us. But if you mind your business, you wouldn't have to worry about it. That's first. And secondly, you're damn it, I had something even. Damn it, I was on a roll. Leave a man alone. He ain't calling for your hate. He's not attacking women and even people, men in the we talked about this when we went over red pill stuff. There are different spectrums in my opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody who's reading up on it myself. But there are different spectrums as far as women being afraid of what men will do because they hate women. No, the guys who are on that far end of the red pill spectrum, they're called MGTOW, men going their own way. They don't want to deal with women. They just want to be alone. So they're not chasing down women and trying to attack you in the park to get your goodies. No, they don't want to deal with you. I don't agree with them because I love women and I'm still going to pursue the women that I want to go after consensually. Got to say that shit because some people are going to say, oh, Trey going to hunt somebody. But you get what I'm saying? There's no, oh, the red pill men are out to destroy women. We love y'all. We are elevating ourselves so that we can have better options and also be better for you to be an option for you. And that's generally what the thing is. That's what Kevin Samuel does this, but his main focus is when he talked to men, it was improve yourselves. He talked to men the same way. Just women couldn't take the tone of what he was saying now. So more of them are like, oh yeah, you get on him. And he was like, oh, well, you talking about you want to talk to this dude. You ain't ready. You not ready to get that type of dude. So you getting angry, you want to cancel him because now all this vitriol and shit, all this ain't happened when the men was getting shit talked about him. Go look up his old videos, and none of this, not a man on earth was like, oh, we got to take down Kevin Samuels because he called me fat. No.
Straight deja vu. Oh, that's creepy.
What?
You literally said that a whole episode ago, and we would literally look just like this, and you said the exact same sentence. That's so creepy. But in the words of JT, no, it wasn't last week. This was a while ago. I'm saying it's creepy because it's like literally you said the exact same thing. But in the words of JT, make you think you love him, take his money, and then you dip on it. Okay, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Love, money, dip. Love, money, dip. That's what I'm gonna do. LMD. That's what it is. Okay.
All right.
LMD out here.
So, I guess that's 2 for disagree with the panel and 1 for agree with the not the panel.
Disagree. It's disagree. I didn't disagree with it. I said that I disagree with how he speaks to people. I've always said that people, men, women, dogs, whoever. I don't like the way that he talks to people. I think that there's a way that you can talk to people. There's a way that you can be frank, blunt, without being disrespectful. There is a way that you can be frank and blunt without being disrespectful. Make sure I said that very clearly for the
You're
people in the
right.
front and the back and people in olive. So, what I'm saying.
Word, a word. Okay. Nah. Nope.
My
Be
whole
blunt,
thing
gentlemen.
was my whole thing was, without being disrespectful, correct, but my whole entire thing was, if you do not want to see, look, watch, hear, do not look, see, watch, hear. That's all that is. And he can go back to, like he was doing before he interjected women or asked for women to join his lives, go back to just having his male mainly audience that he had beforehand, and before he got notarized more and women decided to jump on the conversation and put their 2 cents in. That's all it is. Take away his women viewership, and that's it. That's all you have to do. That is all.
Okay. Miss Royal.
But
No,
what's next on the?
Oh,
Oh,
I
Royal,
can.
go ahead.
I can completely no. I can completely agree with that. I can and see that's the thing though, is that people, and I'm not just talking about women. In this particular situation, but people in general, if there's something that they're seeing that they don't agree with, if somebody has a platform and they're speaking out against, whether or not they're speaking out against women or races or whatever the case may be, people engage, and that's what gives those people that viewership. So yeah, I completely agree. I mean, stop watching the dude, and then we won't have a problem. I am not saying that we need to get rid of his channel. I'm not saying that I agree with their petition. I'm just saying that the way what they're feeling has some merit. That's what I'm saying. Their fear
Of course.
their fear is something that I can say, okay, you know what, I understand how they're feeling. I understand why they want this petition. And you know what I'm saying? I get what they're afraid of. That is what I'm saying has merit. I'm not saying that I'm going to go out and sign a petition because I could really give a fuck less about Kevin
okay.
Samuels, about the red pill situation, whatever the case may be, as married. Okay? So,
Yeah.
I'm just.
Like I always tell you, you out of the game. You won already. Go on about business. Go on about
I'm
business.
just saying.
Come
Uh,
on.
but
some of us out here still. Some of us out here still hunting. All right. Some of us out here still doing things. But
listen, but I
it's
can
it's
feel
I'm
for.
tired. I'm tired of hunting. I'm tired of being in the wild. Okay,
And I feel
it's
that.
overrated.
And I feel
Overrated.
for my single sisters. I feel for, the fact that they out here and some of their options is just straight up literal garbage. And you got to be fearful of the shit that men be. Some men, not all, not all, not all.
I'm taking it personal because I know you personally. You say you worried about your sisters. Man, what about your single brothers out here? What the fuck?
I mean, yeah, I am
My
worried about those
options.
too.
What's up with my options?
However,
I'm just
however,
fucking with you.
however, I feel like women have more of a reason to be afraid historically because of things that have happened to us. And Chase, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you jump on this one because we were talking briefly outside of the show about this video, and this is something that I wanted us to touch base on as well.
Mm.
So, Chase, if you would please.
All right, so you guys know 130,000 K on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? We got it.
Good job. Good
We
job.
did
You
it.
broke through. You
Like,
broke through.
finally, we have followers again. You feel me? Um, but yeah, if you're not following me on TikTok, please follow me, Chase Inc. ChayesInc. Believe her name is Selena. There's a popular woman, Selena, who I adore. She has became a very big powerhouse on TikTok. Just bringing up issues and talking, talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? And I love her stuff. I love her videos. Every single video I agree with, just like anybody who has an opinion. You're not going to agree with them 100% all the single time.
Mm-hmm.
But she had Stitch, another male's video, and in that video, the male in a wrap up basically said that he was leaving the gym and he was walking behind another female leaving the gym at the same exact time. He had his headphones on, bumping his music, probably was, rapping to spaghetti, throwing up on his shirt, whatever. And he was just walking to his car having a good time. He noticed that she had started kind of speeding up in her walk because she probably noticed, why is he still walking behind me in the same direction as me getting in my car? And he said she, hit the unlock button, got in the car, and as soon as she closed it, she hit it again. And then he was like, "Oh snap! Like, you think that I'm trying to hurt you?" And he like walked to his car and went like, and looked at her and got in his car and was like, "I'm not here to hurt you." But his main thing was saying, and this man looked like 33 Mayish. And he said, I never realized, he's like, maybe it's just me being ignorant, but I just never realized that women have a fear like that, just even going to their car from the gym. Selena then goes and says, like, I'm proud for him to recognize that he is ignorant to the fact that women have to worry about their safety. And I'm proud that he has realized that he has to take a wider look outside of his bubble that he's been living in. But also, she was very aggravated in the mere fact that men have lived in close quarters with their mothers, girlfriends, sisters, whoever, and do not have the realization that women go through some psychological stuff in their head, thinking that is today going to be my day, basically. Another black male, I believe his name was King. I think his name was King something. I can't remember his tagline on TikTok. And he stitched it, and he took the video that Selena made, and he showed it to his students in his class. Now, I'm going to think that they're maybe junior high schoolish. And the boys in his class immediately said, why is she being so aggressive? Why is she blaming the man in the video for not knowing anything? And she never blamed him at all. Maybe she should have said this a different way. I don't like the way that she talked in the video.
I don't like her tone.
And it just, or I didn't like her tone, okay? And he himself, the teacher, was just in utter shock because in his head, he's like, these boys literally said, okay, women are getting hurt. Like, why does she have to talk to me like that? If you're talking to me like that in that way, then I'm not going to pay attention. And I think this is what it is. Now, I don't know those children's life stories, and I'm sure the teacher doesn't know their starter life stories and what they're raised like at home. But to see that this could have been 11, 12, 13-year-olds who have this type of thought process of her being aggressive when she was just being assertive was a turn off, and then turned off their learning goggles and said, I don't like the way she's talking. So I thought it would be a great thing for us to talk about because, like I said, I don't think a lot of people realize the psychological thought process that women have to go through on their everyday life. Now, we're not saying, woe is me, I have to think about every time I get into the car, going to the grocery store, go to the gym, go to that. Sometimes it's very dormant in our minds, but I will say that it is very cautious, it is aware, and it does jump when you notice something. I could be walking home. It could be the rustling of leaves, but immediately when I hear it, keys go in between my fingers as I'm walking, just as a cautionary. It could be I'm hearing someone take a few steps behind me. I'm not going to look behind me. I'm not going to make it suspect that I know somebody might be behind me, but I'm being very aware. If I'm leaving out the grocery store, if I'm running a little late, or even if I'm at the park, I would love to sit at a park at a tree with my headphones on and closed eyes. I would love to do that. I feel like I cannot do that. Not for the fact that I think every man in the world is out to get me and Michael Myers me, but it takes away my cautionary thought process where this man was able to walk from the gym to the parking lot. It seemed like it was about a 6-minute walk that it took, and he had his headphones bumping, and he was just, you better lose yourself in the music. He was killing it, okay? He was killing it, but he was allowed to do that, where I have to walk to my car like this if I wanted to. One headphone out. If I gotta be real safe, no headphones whatsoever. So, and me and Treese, we actually did talk about this, getting into cars. I don't know, obviously everybody knows how a key lock works, but we know one press, driver door, double press, multiple doors. You never double press.
Nope.
Always single press. It only opens up the driver's seat. You look in the car as soon as you press the button, the light goes on the car. You look in the back seat. As soon as you open the door to get in, you hit that lock button with your finger before you even close the door, and now you're safe.
Yep.
In your brain, that's how that works. And that's just an everyday thing. I don't even think about it anymore, but that's just, it's so manual now. Even it's to the point that my male friend knows how dangerous it is. My battery, my key died, and I was just going and opening the door. He seen me do that. He said, we're going to the store right now so I can buy you batteries, because that is ridiculous, So it's just one of those things. So, the comments, I want to hear what you guys, I talked long enough. I want to see what you guys have been saying in the comments. mind your business. I want to see what you guys are saying in the
It's literally
comments.
my business.
I want to see what you guys are saying in the comments because I wanted people to populate, what they're saying. So, can someone please read in the comments because I'm unable to.
Yeah, sure. I'll
Sure.
start with YouTube. So Elizabeth Guevara says, "We love Selena." Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
They don't fear what they don't know. Facts. Jamaica says, "Women are literally getting snatched off the streets," and that's straight facts. Elizabeth says, "Instead of hearing the passion of what we have to go through in a tone that is assertive so that it's known as serious, they decided it's nonsense instead of realizing how scary it really is." She also goes on to say, "All this just to make sure we not dying that day. Nothing but facts, sis." And Amber says on Facebook, "Yes, this is real life," and it is. Like what I feel like what men don't realize is that literally, and like I said before, we step outside of our houses and we know that we're no longer safe. We walk out the door and it's like literally my car, and I'll say this
Oh, you
because
in your house?
yeah, my car is right in front of my house, okay? Like, I mean, it's
Well,
probably
you kind of live in
literally.
the woods, and we got to get a passport to come see you. So.
Shut your face up and let me finish my point. My car is literally maybe 5 feet away from my front door. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am sprinting that 5 feet from my front door. I will tell you, this is what I do. When I know I'm about to leave out to go to the gym or whatever the case may be, I got my keys in hand, I auto start my car. Off the rip. I auto start my car. I turn on my Ring camera, make sure I got a live view of whatever the hell is happening in front of my house, and then I'm sprinting from my front door to my car. And then that starts that entire one boop on the key fob to open my door. I get in, look back, and then shut my door and lock it all in one fell swoop. This is all happening at one time, and then and only then do I feel safe to pull off and continue on with my day. And I mean, like this, it's unfortunate because it's like we literally can't go anywhere. I hate going anywhere in the dark. Okay, don't let the sun go down when I'm out doing whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Because then I'm terrified. Lord forbid that I am parked in a parking garage. Okay, that is when the real fear settles in. Okay, like thankfully right now I'm teleworking, but when I had to go to work and I had to park in the parking garage, we talking about easily a good 50, 60, 70 feet between the front of the building and this dark ass parking garage with the little fluorescent lighting that you have overhead. And I mean like empty, dark space all the way around me, okay? And I mean down the street is completely open street. You want to talk about somebody getting their cardio in, okay? I mean, I'm literally running to my car. It is a real fear that we have that something is going to happen to us. Somebody is going to attack us. Women are being stalked. They are putting trackers on women's cars now. You know what I'm saying? Like there was just the girl, I can't even think of her name, unfortunately, but she was a social media influencer and she was just murdered. Stalked and murdered. The man put a tracker on her car. She made a video about it. Made a video about it because
and
she
she
didn't
just
know
got
what
murdered.
to do, and she
got killed a week later.
A week later.
Yeah.
This is what we have to live with, and this is what men don't understand. It's like okay, we don't want to look at y'all like y'all are stalkers, but unfortunately, we can't put anything past anybody. You could be the nicest, friendliest man in the entire world. I still don't know you from a can of paint.
Facts.
Yeah. So Trey, I guess the end all question is, do you believe that some men are in their own bubble of ignorance when it comes to the outside world of, what a woman goes through in their daily lives of protecting themselves?
Yes, men have their own bubble. We sometimes are unaware if we don't have women in our lives to let us know what's going on. But I will, and it's, of course, personal accountability on both sides. The reasoning for having such a bubble is if you have male friends and you don't express to them your concerns, they may not ever hear about these things. And I'm not saying it's your fault for them, but I'm saying you can help with us gaining knowledge about this stuff by opening your mouths and doing what? Communicating, telling us how you feel, telling us your fears, telling us your concerns. Like you said, Chase, your friend he saw your father and was like, oh no,
Mm-hmm.
we got to fix that, because he's aware of what's going on. But
Mm-hmm.
not every man out there is going to be that. There's a lot of men out there who, and I'm not going down that road, but I'm just saying this for this argument's purpose. They are alone. They don't have interaction with women outside of business transactions or work. So they don't have personal relationships with women. So they have no idea what's going on in your lives. They don't know why you're running to your car so fast every night and when you get off work. They don't understand it. They've never been in that situation. So personal accountability on them. They have to reach out and try to find out these things. So there has to be a level of communication between the sexes on a friendship level to kind of make things even and be able to learn these things about each other. Like this platform here, we're having these conversations, and there may be a man who's watching it right now who had no idea that women go through these things. So this is why it's good to have these types of dialogues. Now, as far as one of the things, I did watch the video. The only thing that I had an issue with is him showing it to the kids. Not the fact that he showed the videos to the kids, but his reaction to the kids' reactions. Because first off, they're kids. Kids are not aware of what truly SA is. They don't know. Some of them are, but majority of kids, 13, 12, 10, they don't know that dudes are capable of doing that. They just pop their first fucking boner. They don't know about consent. They don't know about these things. So for him to get angry and upset or offended that these kids were taking it different, they don't know what the hell's going on. They just know what he was going to his car and she's going to his car. Why does she? That could be the case. That could be the case. I don't know for sure because I don't know him and I don't know the kids. Mm-hmm. But that was the only thing I had an issue with. It's like, Joe, they're kids. And I'm hoping that he explained to them what was going on within the parameters that was going on. So that was really the only issue that I had. But yes, I do believe that some men live in a bubble. There's some things that I'm finding out every day about women that I don't know about. Mm-hmm. And that's because I communicate and I talk to you guys and I learn more. And I want to. I don't ever want to have any woman in my life to have an experience. And it's I said it earlier on another show. It's that impotent rage because I can't fix everything, and that's what some men want to do. We want to protect. We want to fix. We want to make sure the people that mean something to us don't go through this bullshit. So we recognize majority. I'm not gonna say majority. I'm gonna say half of us recognize that you're going through shit, and we also take steps. Like I did it. Actually, I did a TikTok. Shout out to me. Follow me on TikTok. I just hit 75 officially. Hey, yeah, going up. I got a video. It got 2 million views. That shit was crazy. But anyway, I did a TikTok a while back where it was a young black man who's walking in college, and there's a young lady she didn't know he was behind her, but he had the wherewithal to stop when she stopped. They're going the same direction. Yeah, and he stopped. When she stopped, he's like, shit, I got to do. I worked for FedEx, and now I work for another company where I'm driving around everywhere. And even though I'm in uniform, I still will, I'll make it known that, hey, there's a black man standing behind you, because I don't want you to feel scared. I try to make myself seem smart. I got a damn near hunch myself.
Your announcement that you're behind somebody? Like what?
I clear my throat.
Hey, most of the time I clear my throat. Black man walking. Like, no. What is this?
No, most of the time I clear my throat, or I'll do. What do? I clear my throat. I take my keys. I jingle my keys. Ting, ting, ting. I'll do stuff like that. I'll take on my phone, and I'll probably play something on my phone to make a noise. Like I'll do stuff to let people know, hey, I'm here. And I have my badge showing for my job. I got make sure my uniform shirt is displayed, my jacket not covering it up. But I take extra steps to make sure that people are aware of my presence.
I'm not gonna hold you, Trey. That makes me more nerve-wracking that you make noise.
Of the keys. The jingling
of the keys and like the cough and everything. I will say that those are some. I'm not saying what you're doing wrong in those situations that you're in. Probably have helped you, but to hear that, like it's like I already know you're behind me, but to hear that can also offset somebody too. Just as a warning, just a general people out there. But to ping off of what you said about the children. I don't think he was wrong in being upset because in the grand scheme of things, yes, they are children, but if they're 12 and 13 years old, they know how to conceptualize and they know when a person is saying something to them, right? So if they've had a parent speak sternly to them and it's just like, why didn't you clean your room? It's not, oh, why are you being so aggressive about me cleaning my room? It's like, oh, I should have cleaned my room. So you know how to tell the difference between
Yeah.
I'm being direct about something and this is what I'm saying, and you taking what I'm saying as the direct meaning of what I'm talking about. So when it came to her video and her response, I don't think there was anything that even a 12-year-old anything could have taken out of context, because the mere fact is she had said it. I do not blame this man. She said it
Mm-hmm.
again. I thank this man for learning about the outside world. I
Mm-hmm.
thank him for trying to learn more. And she gave him his accolades in the beginning, middle, and end. What she was saying is, I don't like the fact that some men do not have the outer scope of what women go through. And so,
Mm-hmm.
in that message, all they heard was, that's literally, and that's what they perceive. So that's what I'm saying is, he has the right to be sternly upset, because if you're by 12, 13 years old, you've been sternly talked to by teachers, parents, grandparents, depending on what type
Yeah.
of church you go to.
But how
So
did you
you can
feel when
tell.
that happened to you when you were a kid? Did you enjoy that happening, or did you feel once you heard somebody
It
being
wasn't about
loud
it
or
wasn't about
stern?
enjoying about it. It's just the
No,
mere
not
fact
enjoy,
of,
but
I
you
know
understand
that
what I'm saying.
I under no, I get what you're saying, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, even if I got in trouble for something, did I like getting yelled at? Hell no. But I understood the message behind me getting yelled at, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of the fact. You know the
So
reason
real quick,
why you're getting yelled at.
did you ever have that situation happen with a stranger? The stranger's yelling at you and you got the message, or did you hear stranger loud, noisy? Why are you being loud with me? As a kid, like realistically.
As a kid, my thing was, I understood. As a kid, if somebody was yelling at me, and let's take this part out. She wasn't. This isn't. We're taking an example and making
Mm-hmm.
a direct thing towards personal. This is a woman talking about a very general scope. So she
Yes.
is saying and talking about a general thing about men not being aware. Okay, and I don't know, and he maybe gave a disclaimer before class talking about this is what happened, blah 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 blah, before he even showed the video. So
Mm-hmm.
even if giving a said disclaimer, if that happened, and they still took it as, well, she was being too aggressive, well, maybe she could have said it in a nicer tone. That to me gives, I heard what she said, I just don't like how she said it. You get what it still
Mm-hmm.
gives. I heard what you said. I don't like how you said it. So that still gives me that you still internalize what my intentions were, but because my voice, my tone was a little too assertive for you, you just totally decided to drown me out in anything I said and
Mm-hmm.
only paid attention to that part.
Okay, real quick,
That's
let me
that.
break
That's the
in.
main thing.
Let me break in real quick because I want to
Royal.
point out this comment that was on YouTube by Elizabeth Guevara. She said this needs to be educated. There needs to be better parenting and accountability from a young age, and
Thanks.
I completely agree.
Hmm.
I
Very
have
true.
preteens. I have teenagers. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
all know what SA is. They all know what consent is. They all, you know what I'm saying. They
Mm-hmm.
all have, and they are boys and girls. You know what I'm saying? They've been
Yes.
educated on these things because it's my responsibility as a parent to let them know on
Facts.
both sides of the spectrum what needs to be done, what needs not to be done. You know what I'm saying? That's my responsibility. And
Yes.
a lot more parents need to step up and talk
I
to
agree.
parents, teachers, whoever. You need to step up and talk to these young people about this thing so we don't have another generation of kids who are out here still doing the same old shit. And honestly, we don't want things to get worse than they already are.
I agree. I agree. So just to clarify, I'm not saying I agree. There is a bubble. There should be personal accountability where both sexes need to communicate, and that also trickles down to the parents of children. I myself have a teenager. He is aware of what SA is. We've had this conversation. Dude, I will disown you, as well as disembowel you if I hear that you did something like this. That's not acceptable on any level. So it is but that's the personal responsibility of the parents. I'm a little foggy as to I don't know if he should have been showing this to the kids, because that gets into the realm of explaining what SA is and explaining the situations. And some parents, not saying it's right or wrong, some parents may not be willing to let their children find out that way. So if that is the situation, it's possible these kids were not aware or understanding of the concepts or the real root of that discussion from the video. So that's what I mean as far as don't be so angry at the kids because they may not fully understand. He could have given a disclaimer. We don't have enough to go back and forth. But
I would hope that he gave
I would hope as well. So yes,
disclaimer.
Elizabeth, I do agree that it should be taught. I've taught my son the same thing. My brothers know the same thing because we were taught by our parents. So, but not everybody has the same type of upbringings. Not everybody has the same type of, family behind them. All right, so we have come to our final portion of the night, and also we're ending a series that we've been doing for the last 6 weeks because it took one day off. Our love language series. So we've been going through this week to week, and finally we're coming to my favorite, my number one, none other than physical touch.
Touch me, tease me. I'm sorry, every single time. Every single time. It's going to do it every single time.
Physical touch is love language is based on exactly what it is. It's self-explanatory. Physical touch. Those who need to contact things, touch people, touch things. They can. I am a touchy-feeling individual. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm driving down the street with my shorty, my hand is on your thigh. If I'm riding down the street when you're driving, my hand is on your thigh. So it is what it is. I'm a cuddler. I like to be the little spoon. I'm still live, and I like to be the little spoon. It doesn't matter. I like to be touched. So, and I like to put my hands where they need to be. So.
Well, yes. My thing is, I like touch a lot. I like when somebody touch my body.
Real quick, ring a handbell shouting black male.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. The British are coming. The British are coming.
Yes.
I am not going to attack you.
Yes.
Not the Paul Revere.
I am a safe individual.
No. Literally, you should just do Paul Revere. Like the British are coming. Like just give a shout out.
The N-word is coming. The N-word is coming.
No, okay, all right. Let's relax here.
Okay.
I do think that touch, depending on who you are and just like how you raised, any situations you've been in and stuff like that, definitely depends on that. It was definitely my top 3. I'm very, very, very sensitive to touch. I'm not OD ticklish though. I'm really not that ticklish. When somebody is tickling my body, like obviously it depends on the part. Like everybody tickles in the midsection, and it's just like, of course you're touching there, and I'm gonna have a reaction. But I'm not that ticklish. I've learned that my neck is the most sensitive on my body, and a kneecap. I don't know what it is about kneecaps.
Secrets. You are giving out a whole lot of secrets right now.
And my man know all of them. Okay.
Okay, but we don't talk about your man.
Right.
We talk about somebody that might be trying to use the ticklishness against you. Anyway.
And they ain't gonna touch me. And that's on purpose. Okay. They ain't gonna touch me. Okay. But anyways, but my thing is that touch is a very, very big thing for me. I need that physical contact, like Trey was saying. I need that physical contact just to have a like something. Like even if we're not talking, if I don't care if you're ignoring me and I'm just laid up on your arm. At least you're like, harumph. Just lay up on my arm then, okay? Just I don't care. And then also I'm, like I said, quality time. I'm just a person of presence too. So even if I'm not physically touching you, the fact of your body being in the same room as me is a touch for me too, in some form. Now, if you just get up and abruptly leave me, I'm gonna feel some type of way, okay? But just a little touch on the, a little peck on the back or something like that. I'm like, oh wait, hold up now, start or something. But yeah, touch is something really nice and great for me, especially when you're doing something dirty. So about the touches on the bodies.
I didn't hear that last part. What did you say?
I was saying, Royal, how do you feel about the touches on the bodies?
It's my turn now.
Mm-hmm.
So physical touch is one of my least favorite. It was way, way low on the total poll for me. I think I got about 3% because I do not like to be touched. It's not.
But you're such a great hugger.
Thank you. So, okay, here's the
thing. You do have
so you've been faking hugs this whole time?
I ain't been faking it. Okay, listen, let me tell you. Let me explain. Okay? So,
I ain't hugging your
You
ass
know,
no
you
more.
know,
No
you know,
more.
men don't like it
If
when
I
you
want my
fake
all.
hug,
stuff.
if I
Okay,
want my hug, you're
men do
in my
not
hug.
like when you fake stuff. All
Facts.
right.
Okay, so this is the
It's the
thing.
truth.
So this is the thing. I am the type of person where I do not like to be touched. Not that I don't like to be touched at all, but like I don't like an overabundance of physical touch, if that makes any sense. Especially
Mhm.
if I am doing something, like don't try to hug me, touch me, kiss me if I have a one track mind and I'm doing something. Um, on the flip side of that, I am a giver of physical affection. Like I don't want
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of it, but if my partner has physical touch as one of their love languages, and Hubducer
Mhm.
is a big physical touch type of person, I am
Mhm.
like I'm all over it. You know, I'm giving all the kisses, I'm giving all the hugs, I'm giving all the affection, the
Good job.
touches, everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you that. I'm not great with receiving it. Um, and just to touch real quick on communication, I had to communicate recently to Hubducer that because he was like always known for, as I said, I don't like to, if I am one track minding something, I don't like to be broken from that
Be
with a kiss or
distracted.
something like that. Yeah, I don't like those type of distractions.
Mm.
So I had to tell him like to go in slow. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to touch me here or something like that, like real quick shoulder rub or something, and
Good
then
job.
that'll break my attention on what I'm doing because it's like, oh, okay, thank you, and then I'm giving of affection. Like I will give all the kisses in the world. I just don't want it too tough. Like I'll have my moments when I may want physical affection, um, but if I'm not in that mind frame, if I don't want it, then I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Mm.
But
Okay.
like I was
And
gonna
that's
say,
fair. So
yeah.
what?
No, I was just gonna say, but
What was
Trey,
you about to
like
say?
you, he's that type of person. Like we riding down the street. He wants to touch my leg. He wants to hold my hand. Okay, well,
It's my
I'm gonna
leg.
do that.
I'm sorry. It's my leg. I'm not sorry. It's my leg.
I know the same situation that you're talking about because sometimes a partner can also be in a shutdown mode, as in they also want to have their time away from anyone and everyone. It has something to do with a certain person specifically. They just coming to like, and people who deal with mental illness, as in depression or deep in sadness or anything like that. I know that for some people, if they are a touch person and they deal with a person who does deal with that, it's kind of hard because they could be a week, 2 weeks, a month into it, and it sometimes it doesn't work out. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we always say. If you feel this way, take care of yourself first. More importantly, love will always come at some point. And if a person really wants you and really loves you, they'll stick by your side. I'm gonna stick beside them. They'll stick by your
Beside him.
side. I had to insert that there because it was appropriate. Anyway, but they'll stick by your side and go through the motions with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Okay. So are you guys familiar with what touch starved would be? What that condition is?
Is that like a punishment?
I've heard
No.
of it.
Well, it can definitely be.
I know a
Yeah.
lot of.
So touch starve is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've heard of it. I know a lot of people, from what I heard of, people were suffering it during the quarantine portion of of the pandemic because
Oh
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
yeah,
So
because
those of us who are unfortunately single or just yes single during the pandemic
Great.
was particularly hard for a lot of us who have that as a love language because you can't hug people, you can't touch people, you can't shake hands, you can't bump fists, none of that, and it's been really difficult. So, as a person who is currently touch starved, um, it sucks, but it is a condition that people go through on a regular basis. True Kasami on YouTube said, I bite.
not a bite.
Jamaica physical touch is in my top three, but I have sensory issues, I understand. Ebony Wiggins, I like physical touch so long as it's pleasureful and not overdone. Some spots on my skin get easily irritated, so I can agree with Royal, but that's where you communicate and you tell them we're not to touch you.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Guerrero on YouTube. The most sensitive thing on my never mind. Ha, subtle, very subtle. Anyway, even though you are not big on the touching, Miss Royal,
Mm-hmm.
are there any places that you think are ideal? Well, you said the shoulders,
Yeah, the shoulders is
shoulder rub
leading
that
for
that
me.
breaks you out of it. Okay,
Yeah.
and Chase, you said behind the knee or something like that.
No, my knees are the most sensitive, and
Hmm.
I found behind my neck, like shoulder, like something, shoulder behind neck, whatever, like that. Like I got like a peck there one time, and literally down my spine. I was like, "Whoa, that's
Okay.
different." Never felt, So new adventures every day.
I
So
think
would these qualifiers for you ladies as erogenous zones?
okay, so I think for
Yes.
me, it's
Okay.
an active service. That's what I think it is. So y'all know that
Hmm.
active service
Okay.
is one of my top three, right? So
Yes.
if I am, like I told y'all, I'm working from home. So I'm working from home in my office, and I store all my tension here. So if you come in and you lead in with a real quick shoulder touch, you rub on my shoulders real quick, hit my shoulder blades. That's it. I'm officially melted. There, all my
Hmm.
defenses are down. That's what it is. So I think it's more of an active service for me because I have so much tension in my shoulders. So if you rub that out for me, then yeah, I'm all over you.
Hmm.
Since
Okay.
we are about to close the show out,
Well,
we got like
before we
five.
close it
Go.
up, I wanted to say what mine was. Damn,
You didn't say yours? I thought you said yours. I'm
I
Didn't
didn't
sorry.
you
say
say your tip?
I
I'm
didn't say
sorry.
where my zone would be.
Oh, okay. I was
I'm
So
like, I thought
sorry.
you went.
no,
Go ahead.
bringing
Sorry.
bringing everything full circle. Queerophilia. I enjoy hand massages, giving them, but more importantly, receiving them. I'm an individual that works with my hands. My hands they're pretty strong hands. I've been working with them since I was 16. Really, really. I don't just pick things up and put them down. I do when it needs time to do it, but smart ass. But I've recently realized that that is one of the most erotic things that a woman could do for me is that actually give me a hand massage. And I do so much with them. I need to go get a what do you call the thing with the nail
A
tech people?
manicure?
A manicure.
Manicure. There we go. I couldn't think of the word. I'm sorry. But I need to go get one of those because I actually got to take care of these calcified
Calluses.
damn hands. But yeah, I had a hand massage recently, and it was just like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing I've ever felt in my life.
I will say I was definitely throwing out hand massages in high school and shoulder
Hmm.
massage. It was a class that we didn't care about. So that's what I learned that my active service is touching a person's body. Just like Tree said, like literally, sorry, Roy, my apologies, but like giving a shoulder rub,
Suck it down.
hand massages. I know, I know, I know. I love you so much. I just love your name. So giving shoulder massages and hand massages, the dude's like, yo, you should go into physical therapy. Like this hit, and I love giving massages. Like I'm pro of massages. But really quick, because I know we're about to get off, but Insecure, we all know, 10 o'clock, it's coming, okay? I don't know if you guys watched the last week's episode,
You did.
okay?
I
Um,
did.
what are, really quick, what do you think is going to happen in this next episode? Because Molly's whole entire family dynamic of her getting a man, not trying to have a man, and everything like that, and we're a year later into the whole debacle that happened between Issa and everything, and Issa, cried in Nate's mouth. So
Oh,
what do you guys think was going to happen in this episode coming up? Well, more specifically, Nate left Issa's house right after she cried in his mouth. What do you think is going to happen between them?
I don't know.
I think he's gone. I
Yeah, I was
hope he
about to say. I
gone.
feel like there's like this whole awkwardness between them now, and I think he's going to. I don't want to say ghost her, but something along those lines is going to happen.
Because he's done it
You
before, but
invite
that
me
had
to
to do
your
with his
bed.
medical thing.
You invite me to your bed. You get things ready to go,
There you
and
go. Cry in my
You
mouth.
crying in my mouth?
You gonna
whoa,
cry in my mouth?
like whoa, what the
What's
heck?
crazy is I was like, damn, you gonna cry in your mouth, and then she says it like, oh shit, I'm crying in your mouth. Damn, like you really messed up a friendship. Like I think she should have just let him go home, and just keep that because they're
Yeah,
business partners also. So
Yeah,
I think she should have just definitely let that be and
left
let
it
that
there.
be
Yeah.
what it is.
yeah.
Yes,
Don't. Yeah, crying is not. Some guys
in
might find
somebody
it's not
in
that
somebody's
easy. And
mouth
it
more
is.
specifically.
Ooh, I think this episode is going to basically be the breakdown of what Lawrence's year has been. Because ultimately, the more I look at it, it's like they're going to end up back together. It's going to blow me. They're going to end up back together when they should have gone their separate ways. I'm going to
Don't
be
be
pissed at the end of the
mad.
season.
Don't be mad.
Mm. Oh well.
All
It
right,
might not be like
so
that. It might be like you and Chase said. They might find each other. They find themselves separately, and maybe they just end up being good friends. You never know.
all that fucking they was doing, you think they're gonna end up being good friends? They're
Listen.
gonna be fucking each other for the rest of their lives. They're gonna be good friends. They're gonna be sneaking behind each other's backs. Their wife and husband gonna pass away in 50 years, and they're gonna find each other in the home in a home, and they're gonna be fucking then. They do nah. You had your shot. Move on. Go move. You need to move to DC. He can stay in San Francisco. Stay on the separate sides of the country. Y'all don't need to be with each other. Period. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, okay then.
The show is going to start any minute now, guys.
It's
any
literally
which
starting.
way. So thank you guys so much for watching the Kinkazoid podcast. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're following us on Instagram on Kinkazoid Podcast. Make sure you're joining us on the Discord, also Kinkazoid Podcast. Find us there. We talk about anything and everything kinky. We got a kinky link. We got R&B list, sex list, all that things in between.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me on, once again, on TikTok, Chase Inc., ChayesInc. And you can follow me on Instagram, where I recently got over 15,000 views for my hair getting stuck in my nose ring at Candy Taste Sweet. So yeah, guys, tell them where they can follow you.
So you can follow me on TikTok, IG, and Twitter at Royal Rain, ROY4LR4YNE.
It's your boy Trey Proper on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Do I still have a Tumblr? No, I don't.
Everywhere.
But yeah,
Just
you can
say
literally
everywhere.
find me everywhere. I'm everywhere. I have an OnlyFans, but it ain't like Rick Stroh's OnlyFans. It ain't like that. I have one to follow people. I ain't posting nothing. So yeah, because somebody actually sent me a message, was like, you got OnlyFans? I was like, I follow things. That's why. But that's besides the point. We're gonna get off. We're gonna pick another day to do aftercares. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about that, but we're not gonna do one tonight because we all got stuff to do.
Right.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Here's what